So, uh, what is ISKCON? ISKCON stands for International Society for Krishna Consciousness. So, International Society we can understand. But what is Krishna consciousness? Krishna consciousness is a shift of consciousness directed towards Krishna. Krishna is a name of God. God has many names. Allah, Christ, many names. Govinda, Krishna, Buddha. Actually, the word Christ originates from the Greek word Christo. And Christo comes from the word Krishna. Krishna actually means all attractive. Because God is the most attractive being there is. He is all attractive because he is full in six opulences. So, this Krishna consciousness movement is meant to help people get knowledge of Krishna and to learn how to serve Krishna and be happy. Krishna is the Supreme Father of all. It says here in the Bhagavad Gita, as it is Bhagavad Gita translates to the Song of God. Bhagavad Gita. Gita means song, and Bhagavad means God. So the Song of God. And this is situated on a battlefield with a soldier named Arjuna, who was a great devotee of Krishna. And he was in a condition where he did not know what to do. And then he needed help. So he asked guidance from Krishna. Arjuna was a great man. He was very learned, very religious, very moral, like perfect gentleman. So he was trying to use all his logic and reasoning and morality to solve his problem, but still he was becoming frustrated and bewildered. So he gave up wanting to fight. But then, he is a Kshatriya, and his duty is to fight and protect the citizens in the world. And the other side was not wanting to back down. They wanted to fight. They wanted to war. So he was not able to stop the war. He had to fight. So then he asked Krishna for help and guidance. And Krishna, being the Supreme Lord, personality of Godhead, being full of knowledge, he was able to dispel Arjuna's doubts that surpassed all his knowledge and morality that he had. And Krishna helped Arjuna in this great distressful situation. Now, in the Bhagavad Gita, there is great knowledge. It is a science. It is not a sectarian religion or some so-called fanaticism. It is actually a great science. Science means it's truth, past, present, and future. So in the past, 5,000 years ago, this was spoken. This Bhagavad Gita was sung to Arjuna. And now, it is still being spread all over the world. Now specifically, this Bhagavad Gita is the purest because Prabhupada was also a great devotee of Krishna, and he spoke the Bhagavad Gita as it is. he did not make his own interpretation of Bhagavad Gita for his own personal motives. He simply stated it as Krishna wanted it stated. And that is why this book is very moving. And it's full of great knowledge that can dispel our doubts about this place that we are living and what is the purpose of human life. Where do we go after we leave this place? Where do we come from? Why we feel happiness and distress? If we are forced to do something that we don't want to do, then why do we do it? Like in Plato, they were discussing that it was like a philosophical discussion between Plato wrote about in one book. I forgot exactly the name of it, but they were discussing and they said that, okay, logically, when someone does something good, it feels good. Yes? So then therefore no one should do anything bad. So then the next person spoke and said, well then, that's not always true, because when someone does something bad, they also feel good. So then they went on to discuss more, explaining that this statement of feeling good is not a firm statement, because when someone does something bad, you would expect that they would feel bad, but still it feels good. But then at the end of that conversation, it never finished. They never took it any further because they didn't have complete knowledge. Because they were ordinary people. They were great learned men, but their knowledge was limited. They did not have perfect knowledge. Now Krishna, being the supreme being, full of knowledge, he is able to fill those gaps. They say that philosophy without religion is mental speculation, and that can only get us so far. We can mental speculate this and that, I believe this, I think that, but we will never get to the end. And even in the court of law, they have like this. A judge is sitting there, and the judge makes the final decision. If the what do we call it? The defense and the culprit, or I think that's the lawyers in the courtroom. If they're saying, I believe this, and the other one says, I think this, and I believe this, without a judge, they will never get to the end. They will never come to a conclusion. It's just always, I think this, I believe this, and it will always go on continuously. And also another point to notify is that they use law books to cite their points made in court. They don't just simply say mental speculation, I believe this, I think this, on their own accord, and based off their own mental speculation, thinking this way and that way. There's law books they have to abide by, and they quote from these books. They cite their points and their arguments from these books. So Bhagavad Gita is a book of science. So there's many texts in here and slokas. Sloka means a verse. So these slokas are the actual words of Krishna and Arjuna on the battlefield. And they are citations for backing up the knowledge that is spoken in Krishna consciousness, ISKCON. It is not that this is a made-up thing or a sectarian thing. It's not some just made-up religion. Also, they say religion without philosophy is sentiment. So we're not sentimentalists and we're not mental speculators. We are great scientists. And we have books that back it up. And these are not ordinary books. These are great books of knowledge. We simply read and you can understand. Maybe not understand everything that is being said, but still we can understand this the specialness of this book. And Krishna speaking and Arjuna speaking, you can tell that they are great personalities, not normal personalities. They're great great souls, great personalities. So Krishna being the supreme being, God. So this ISKCON movement is not some made up movement. It is actually a movement that has helped to give people knowledge about God. It is a movement made for building character. Because if we look around in society, what is the quality of everyone's character? So society is full of drunkards, womanizers, thieves, rogues, rascals, liars, cheaters. This is a society is based off of now. And it's the truth, and it's very sad. And this is not a society that's going to produce a peaceful and prosperous future. So we have to ask ourselves, what kind of future would we like? And if we want a future that is bright, then Krishna consciousness is giving that opportunity. It is a beautiful and very, how do you say it? Very beautiful and, how do you describe it? It's a beautiful and touching organization that is full of kind people that genuinely care about the well-being of all species of life, human, plants, animals, all. We're not just humanists. Because if we are just humanists and we just say, okay, the animals, we just don't care about them, they're not very intelligent. Prabhupada says, well, if a father has two children, or some children, and one brother he's intelligent, and the other brother not so intelligent. And he goes to the father, he says, Father, I would like, this, my brother, he's not very intelligent, like, I want to kill him. Can we finish him? Can we get rid of him? Like, I'm feeling hungry. God would not allow, or the father would not allow. So, it's the same situation. We may see that we are, yes, more intelligent than the animal, we have a higher level of consciousness than the animal. But we should treat the animal as our brother, because in God's eyes, we are all His sons. So, to have peace and prosperity, we have to see all living things as equal. Be kind to one another, and take up this Krishna consciousness movement, and try to perfect our lives, and become happy. This ISKCON movement, Krishna consciousness, is not just meant for a particular type of people, or a particular caste, specific caste of people. It is not against, anyone can do, poor, rich, black, white, yellow, red, blue, green, middle class. It is for all people, intelligent, unintelligent. Everyone can take part of this Krishna consciousness movement. This movement is just trying to teach how to love God. Not to tell people to leave whatever they have on. No, simply to love God. You don't have to stop doing your job. You just simply try to implement Krishna consciousness in your daily life. You can experience peace, tranquility. Your life will be sublime. You will be full of joy, happiness, and you will begin to understand more about yourself and how everything is working around us. And you just simply take up this movement, honestly and sincerely, try to become happy in this way, and surely God will be reciprocal with you. And then we can experience the happiness and joy that comes from Krishna consciousness. It is for anyone and everyone to take up. It doesn't matter. So if you would like to, please try to get in touch with a local temple, ISKCON temple. You can find it on the internet. You can always email and find some Bhagavad Gita as it is. There's a link online, put it in the description. Email is also there. And take that step towards God and see how God will take 100 steps towards you. There are many more things we can discuss. So, please make your life fortunate and join us in this great movement to uplift the burden of society so that everyone can become happy, joyful, and experience the bliss of Krishna consciousness. Hari Bol.